From a Capitol Hill landmark to an urban park to major additions to the University of Denver, almost anywhere you go in the city, you can see the impact that Franklin and Joy Burns have had on the community. Franklin Burns began a career of developing Denver in 1938 when he joined the D.C. Burns Realty and Trust Company, owned by his uncle.
The philosophy was to develop and give the buyers as much as possible in terms of fair deals and good prices and in terms of what they actually put into the homes.
The company built a new paradigm in the home building industry by constructing affordable housing for low-income families after the war.
It doesn't sound unusual at all today, but back then it was very unusual for homes to have washers and dryers, for example. And many of the Burns homes back during those early years, he would actually put the washers and dryers in the homes as well.
While Franklin Burns was building Denver neighborhoods, many of which are still around today, he was also building a strong reputation as being a man of his word.
Mr. Burns agreed to sell some property. And at the time, he thought this was a good price. He looked at the transaction. The individual came in, we talked about it. He said, okay, we have a deal. The next day, I got someone contacted me and said, I will pay you more, I will pay Mr. Burns more for that property. She said, boy, that sounds great, but I've given my word. My word is that I've agreed to do the first transaction. And I said, but Mr. Burns, we haven't put it in contract, we haven't, legally you don't have to do anything. He said, legally is not everything in life. Honesty and integrity are.
A reputation that extended into his work in the community. Mr. Burns endowed the real estate school at Denver University. Program Director Mark Levine.
What we tout and what Franklin is real world. He always was. It wasn't theoretical with him. It was, can we do this transaction? Can we build this building? It wasn't ivory tower stuff. So to that extent, he has its imprint on here.
Joy Burns has left her own imprint on the university in the very practical sense of the Joy Burns Ice Arena, which houses an ice skating rink, but also the lasting impression of leadership as the chairman of the board for the university since 1990.
That's probably been the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my life, is to be involved in higher education at the university.
Joy Burns has had rewards in the business world as well. She was one of the founding members of the Women's Bank of Colorado in 1976, dedicated to teaching women how to fulfill their financial needs.
Well, actually, I think the involvement with the Women's Bank group was a turning point for me in business. I enjoyed that so much and learned so much that it really did inspire me to go do other things.
Other things like renovating the Burnsley Hotel and making it a viable business investment.
I was looking for a new project, so I thought it would be simple to go in and redecorate the hotel. And it didn't turn out to be quite as simple as I thought it would be. Once I got in, I realized that the building just actually needed to be gutted and start over, so that's what I did.
She took that same practical know-how to the Stadium District Board, where she serves as the only woman board member. And now she applies her business sense to the Burns Realty and Trust Company, taking over after her husband's death.
I just feel strongly that all business is built on honesty and integrity and trust, and when you're in business, that's exactly how you run your business.